So I'm going to go to, all these different types of gyms. I'm going to go to other places like Restore Hyper Wellness, Pilates studios, you name it. I was like, I'm just going to go to these places, tell them what I do, and ask them if they would be open to me setting up a booth, a little workshop. So I did it and I was like, oh man, I'm not going to get anybody. And sure enough, most everybody, I'd say 90% were super receptive to the idea of me coming in because not only am I marketing my business, but I'm actually giving them a service and giving their members or clients some helpful, useful information. So it's kind of, you're helping each other out. So a lot of people are like, yes, come in, tell my clients about some healthy, health and wellness tips. And then along the way, I'm getting emails from my newsletter. So it was just a give and take relationship. So it's been very successful so far. I even set up a booth at the Alpharetta Farmers Market one weekend as the spotlight vendor. And you could keep it simple. You don't even have to do anything super crazy. I have a fold out table with a cloth that I put over it. I have a prize spin wheel that is dry erase. And so it's got 10 slots on it. You can write anything you want on it. I keep it simple and put different handouts. I put, a free 50-minute consultation for one. I actually do the circle of life analysis for anybody who graduated from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. That is one of their key worksheet pieces. So I like to do that. And that's an in-person, on the spot activity that you can do to provide a lot of great information on the spot. So just stuff like that. And then one thing that I've also incorporated is a little wellness gift basket to raffle off so that people are more receptive to filling out their name and email. And so it's been really great.
And I love all of those things. It's kind of at this stage, it's about building the relationships and getting them on your email list. Because when somebody, no matter how you do that, whether it's handout or the gift basket, the raffle, all of that, it is them, they're opting in to learn more about you and what you do and the things you do. And so I love that. And that email list is where you get to nurture them for a long time. And I would guarantee you that many of them at some point will become a client in some way.
Exactly. Yes. And so that's what I've been trying to do is focus on growing that list. And I've gotten, I think almost at 100. And so I'm like,
that's awesome.
So yeah.
And they really say that when you get 100 to 200 people, that's when you can actually start making call to actions for a program or to kind of sell to them of some kind, whatever that is. Right. And so I love that you're building that platform out there. And so, this is all live. You're getting to actually talk to people. So when you talk to people, are they receptive? Are they not sure? Are they questioned? Do they have questions for you? Do you get to answer some? Or are you feeling stuck like, oh my God, I don't know if I can answer that?
No, so it's been great. I personally am an in-person type person. So people obviously are coming up, they're like, what is this? Because they don't know what I'm doing. Most places don't normally have booths set up. So it's already a different, exciting thing that's happening. So they're like, oh, and I'll take some snacks and stuff too. So it'll draw them in, but they'll see my booth and they'll see my little spin wheel and they're like, oh, what are you doing over here? What's this all about? So I will at that point, educate them on health coaching. And then a lot of times people will ask health related questions. And of course, everybody's different. Everybody has different health concerns. So, up until this point, I've been able to answer any question. They've all been very general. And that's when I would allude to, if you want to go deeper, you want to go further, feel free to schedule an appointment with me, and then we could see if we're a good fit. So I definitely keep it more on a surface level, especially in a public area. People are just learning about me and just meeting me for the first time. But it definitely opens the door to, we can set up a conversation to discuss deeper. And then I'll give them a brochure, I'll give them a business card, and I'll have them check out my website, and then also follow me on Instagram, because I'm very active on Instagram right now. So if you're watching, follow me on Instagram at healthaswealth360 _ it kind of gets them more familiar with me. And I feel like the more that they see the lifestyle that I live and that I actually live what I'm teaching, it'll also make them more comfortable working with me in the future.
Yeah. And so would you say, I love this, because would you say you'll continue to try to go back to the farmer's market or keep going to the gym so that they repeatedly see you?
So that's a good question. I haven't thought about making it a repetitive thing at the gyms. The farmer's market was a one-time member spotlight. Unfortunately, they don't allow vendors that don't sell a tangible product. At least at the Alpharetta farmers market, they're a lot more stringent on their guidelines. So that was a one-time thing. Now I would be open to doing other farmers markets that are a little bit smaller and less restrictive. But I also, for the farmers market, they do charge, and the Alpharetta farmers market was a little bit pricey. So I ended up splitting a booth with somebody, which I actually got that idea from one of your videos. So thank you. I split a booth with another health coach, and we were able to both work it and split the price. So some of those things can get pricey, and you have to think, okay, is it worth the money? Am I going to get the return on it? So, but things like the gym, they don't cost anything. So it's really just your time, and you just have to determine, was that worth it for you? And kind of go from there. So
yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100% on that. Some places are pricey. I've done some events that were pricey, and my return on investment wasn't as good as I had hoped it to be. But the next year I went as a guest, and I was, instead of a vendor, and I got to mingle with all of the people in there. So it was almost a really good investment doing it that way, but I would not have known had I not done it. So it's all a, looking to see what's going to work, what doesn't, what's worth the money, what's not.
exactly.
So I'm glad that you are testing out the waters and the different things, because there are so many things we can do, even going into some chiropractors or health, acupuncturist office, and say, could we collaborate on a workshop?
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of options with workshops, and then there's just a lot of options with marketing too, because I have been in contact with the owner of Fit Life magazine. I don't know if you've met Tracy, but she does magazine and social media, and she's also putting together the Fit Life Expo in October, which is going to be in downtown Alpharetta. Their booths are very pricey. So unless I can find 3 other people to do it with me, I probably won't do it, but I'll probably go as a guest like you did, and just see who's there, what businesses are there, and talk to the businesses. And I mean, there's my clientele. Like, talk to them and say, hey, would you be interested if we work together, partner together in some way? And that would be worth way more, I think, than paying $600 for a booth. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And then I've also partnered with other small businesses like Fit for Mom Alpharetta, which is a group of moms who work out together with their children. And so my target market is a little bit more busy moms. So that's kind of something that I did. And I was a sponsor for one of their raffles for their 9-year anniversary. And it's just all about networking and making connections and, meeting people who also know other people.
Right. And building on those relationships, right? Because I feel like you understand that it's not just about going to these events, passing out your information and saying, okay, let's do business. It's about building the relationships in the community. You're in a great community where you can, there's a lot of things going on. And so and I love that you're connecting with groups that are for your target audience and getting in there and just getting to know them, because eventually, when they trust you and they feel good about you and they need your help, whether it's for them or somebody else, they'll be able to refer, and that they become your referral partners.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and I know, hopefully I won't be going to the networking this week, but I know that, hopefully we're going to be going to that same network right in our area and in the future. So that group is really good. How do you feel going, and what would you say to the ladies in this group? How do you feel about going and approaching businesses or approaching, chiropractic offices or the gym? How did it feel? Were you nervous at first? Or you just kind of went in there, or did you get no's and then kept going?
So I definitely was nervous at first. I will say because I had gone to LA Fitness one time before I got my certification, and they turned me down and they said it was a conflict of interest and all this. And I'm like, man, that's a bummer. If they're saying no, then all the other places might say no too. But then after I got my certification and I decided that I was going to tackle a list of places and go to these places, I was just like, okay, the worst that can happen is they say no. And if they say no, it would be the same as me not going to begin with. So if I don't go, there is no possibility of me getting a yes answer. So that's kind of the thought process that I went through. And I was like, if they say no, it's a no. And one kind of quote that I've held on to recently is rejection is just redirection. It doesn't mean that, it's guiding you towards a different yes that's going to be down the road. So I've just it's all about changing your mindset and being like, you know what, if they're saying no, then they think it's not a good fit. They think it's not a good fit, then it's not a good fit, because both parties need to be confident that it's a good fit for them.
Yeah. And getting a no is okay. I mean, like you said, if you didn't go, you wouldn't have a chance of getting a yes, and you might just get a yes, and you will eventually get the yeses.
Yes. And surprisingly enough, I'm telling you, there was only one place that said no. And everybody else was like, yes, come on in. And I wasn't expecting to get so many yeses. And so I had all these business cards and these emails, and I was like, all right, I got to follow up and I got to schedule these. And so it ended up, it was great, but I was like, wow, this is crazy, because I had actually attempted on going outside of Alpharetta because I had known other people who I went to college with who were owners. One in particular, an owner of Pure Bar in Buckhead. And I reached out to her and I was like, hey, would you be interested in me coming in for a workshop? And it took her about a week to message me back. And she was like, yes, we'd love for you to come in. But at that point, I already had 7 yeses in Alpharetta. So I actually had to turn her down and be like, I'm so sorry, but I ended up getting more than I could handle right here. So we're going to follow up later. But I was just at that point trying to grasp for straws, and it turned out that more people wanted me to be there than I originally thought. So don't underestimate yourself, because if you go in with confidence and you go in with the right mindset, people will say yes.
Yes. And so getting all those yeses make you feel totally overwhelmed, like, oh my God, I can't handle this? Or, once you, and I'm sure you probably felt that way initially, but once you kind of like sat down and kind of organized what you thought, were you okay with that?
Yes, I was okay with it once I got organized. I'm the type of person that once I'm organized, I'm fine. But what it was, I think, a Friday afternoon that I got all those yeses. So of course, like the weekend, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta like anxious to like get all this stuff scheduled and get all this stuff like, followed up properly and everything. But I think organization is key. And then also not putting too much on yourself all at once. Spreading it out. I know that I actually spread it out over almost 2 months because I only have Mondays and Fridays to allocate towards my business. And I also still need time for content and newsletter and all that stuff. So once I got it organized, I was good to go, but just
And
keep that
I
in mind.
love the fact that you just said you only have Mondays and Fridays to work on your business. I know that you do work outside, at a company, and you do have kids. So, and the husband and all of that. So can you talk just a little bit about that on your Mondays and Fridays? How do you kind of delegate your time so that you are actually working on your business?
Yes, that's a great question. So Mondays are typically my planning days. I plan out content for social media, whether it be reels or post or newsletter. And it's typically a follow-up day for me if I have any pending emails on my business email. And generally that leads to more stuff that comes up later, which I will roll then to Friday. And Fridays right now are the days that I will be using as coaching. Once I have one client now, which yay, so exciting. So I will be meeting with her on Fridays at an office space in downtown Alpharetta. So once I start stacking on clients, I think I'll have a limit of about 5 clients on Fridays. And then at that point, I'll probably need to rearrange things. But right now, yes, Monday's planning and the Fridays are more like either going out to businesses and talking to new prospective clients or partnerships or coaching.
Love it. What is we talked a little bit about what you're focused on in there. What are the two things that your ideal clients struggle with that you help them with?
Yeah, so the two things as busy moms, I would say meal prepping is huge. A lot of people just fall into the convenient thing of fast food, grabbing food to go. I want to break that, and I want to show people that everybody, not just moms, that meal prepping can actually save you time in the long run and save you money, and it's healthier. So that's kind of that's one of the main things for busy moms. The other one is time management
Mhm.
and prioritizing oneself. I think that as a mom, it's really easy to let yourself fall on the back burner and not make time for yourself. But at the end of the day, my goal is to empower moms to focus on themselves so that they could not only feel better, but they could be better mothers, better wives, and better citizens of the community. So I think those are the two things that I really want to convey.
I really love that. I love that, just, that end piece where better moms, better wives, and all of that, better community assets and all of that, because I think that's what we all want anyway. And we forget that if we don't take care of ourselves, that's when things start to go awry and we can't figure out why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I just want to empower people to understand that they have the choice to make those changes.
Yes, and it is all about choice. It really truly is. Any last pieces of, suggestions, advice you can give to the group and, about getting out there and starting their business?
I mean, the biggest piece of advice that I would give is just don't let anything hold you back. Don't let imposter syndrome hold you back. Just go out there and don't be afraid to get no's. You will get them, but that's part of being a business owner. That's part of growing. That's part of finding the path that's right for you. So I would just encourage you to shift your mindset and know that no's or rejection is just redirection.
I love it. I love it. And so I always ask everybody, what's something on your, excuse me, bucket list that you want to get done in the future?
For my business.
For anything, for life, for your business, for life. What's on your bucket list?
Jen. Ooh, I wasn't ready for that one. Well, travel wise, I'd love to go to Hawaii. Like that would be like my number one play. Actually, I'd love to run a half marathon in Hawaii.
Ooh.
That would be fun because then I'd have all these beautiful views and I wouldn't even be thinking about how far I'm running.
There you go. And that's on my bucket list too. So
We do it together.
yeah, I tell you, I love it. And so everybody can get to, connect with you at healthiswealth360.com, your website, and tell everybody else again your Instagram.
Instagram handle is at healthiswealth360. That's 360 _
Awesome. And you spend a lot of your time on Instagram, you're saying. Is that your main focal channel, or do you still use other channels as well?
Those Facebook and Instagram, because they're integrated, are my two primary right now. Eventually I'll branch out to YouTube, but right now I'm just trying to get social media following up and just getting more comfortable being on social media, because honestly, before this, I was kind of a ghost on there. So this is also a little bit out of my comfort zone too, but you got to do it.
You got to do it, because even if you do live stuff, social media is where you're going to get a following as well and connect with a lot of people. And just to kind of mention, I don't know if you saw in this group, on the 17th through the 21st, I am going to be doing a 5-day challenge about getting visible for your business. So come in and join us, and we'll go through a couple of those things as well.
All right. Sounds good. That's great.
So guys, ladies, get out and start doing things. Don't be shy. Just go out and do it. And it gets easier as you do it, right? So, all right, Sibonee, thank you so much for being here with us today. And we are going to sign off now, but I so thank you for being here with us today.
Yes. Thank you so much, Lisa. Have a wonderful week and we'll talk soon.
All righty. Bye for now.